So in today's video, I figured I would just go ahead and do a market update after we got the CPI numbers today. They did come in slightly higher than expected, but the market held some very key levels, some levels that we have to be paying attention to into end of week. So today we're going to go ahead and review the SPY ETF. We're going to review the ES futures and the NASDAQ futures so we can get a good update on what levels to watch into end of week. After watching today's video, if the analysis provides any value to you, make sure to press that like button and subscribe to the channel. We're almost at 60,000 subscribers. I appreciate all of your support. Help me hit that goal by pressing that subscribe button down below. So we're going to kick this video off here on the S&P 500 futures. This is the 4-hour chart, and the most important hold that we've seen over the last week is the 40-50 level on the S&P 500. You guys can see we had some previous highs in this area around 40-50. We also had some previous rejections in the more recent price action around this 40-50. Now, after breaking 40-50, this is back on the 31st of January into the 1st of February. After turning that 40-50 into a support right here, you can see that we have been able to maintain it. So we have turned this previous major rejection point at 40-50 into a support level on the most recent pullback. That, for now, is one of the most important levels to be watching if you want to see more upside on this market. Losing 40-50 is the level that will cause that downside slip to come in. You have to be maintaining 40-50 for this market to be maintaining to the upside. Now, you can see, I think a lot of people are eyeing this. You're starting to get a bull flag forming here on the S&P 500, on the SPY ETF, on the NASDAQ futures. They all look pretty much the same. We are forming this bull flag here on the 4-hour chart, and it's right above that 40-50, and it's right below that 4,200 major supply level. So this is a very indecisive area on the market. Some people may think this breaks out of the bull flag, which it very well could, but I still think you need to be cautious of that 4,200. Going long here too early, getting too aggressive in this channel, because if we delete this bull flag, we really are just trading in this channel between 40-50 and 4,200. Getting too aggressive here before we get above 4,200 supply could be dangerous here if you are getting too aggressive on the long side. So please watch out for that 4,200 over the next few trading days. A move over 4,200, a hold above 4,200 is the ultimate bull case here for you guys out there looking for upside. Seeing a move over 4,200, seeing it hold as a new demand, that is going to be your ultimate bull case here on the S&P 500 futures. This is the move that you really want to see to get confirmation for some further upside. So we continue to trade in this range between 4,200 to 4,050 even after CPI was released today. And on that CPI release, after seeing that initial downside this morning, there was a very key level that held intraday. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom in here on the 30-minute chart, and you are going to see the pretty key level that held here on the ES futures. You will see it on the NASDAQ and the SPY ETF as well. For the ES futures, it is this previous low around 4,100, 4,105. Back on Monday and Tuesday of last week, we had a very strong hold come in here around 4,105 on the ES futures. You guys can see right here we had previous lows before pushing to the upside. Now back here on Thursday of last week, we got the break below that level and we started to see some downside movement. Now where that downside started to slow down was that 40-50 level that I just talked about on the 4-hour chart. That 40-50 level held very strong, and you can see we did get a push off that level. Now, we did not get above that level on Friday of last week. Friday of last week, we went ahead and we pushed off 40-50, but we stayed below the 4105. You can see right here, we stayed below that 4105, which could have brought in some bears in this market. I got a little bit bearish there on that 4105 rejection myself. Wanted to see if that would cause a rejection, a break and retest of this Monday, Tuesday low. Now coming into this week, you can see on Monday, yesterday of this week, we got a very strong break and hold back above 4105, and this was key. This move yesterday, back above 4105, back above this rejection point Friday, and back above the previous Monday, Tuesday support, this hold right here on Monday, yesterday of this week, was very key. Now, what impresses me the most about this 4105 level, even after CPI today, if we zoom in here on this level, you can see that we moved down into that 4105 today after CPI was released, and we held it once again. So we had these previous lows here at 4105, the previous rejection here, turned back into a support back on Monday, yesterday of this week, right here. And you can see after CPI, we held it once again. Now, being able to spot these levels intraday is crucial to not get faked out on any specific move. So if I pull up the Discord here, you're going to see intraday today, we were trading at that 4105 level. I'm going to zoom in here on the Discord, and you will see ES at a key level of 4105 Monday, Tuesday's lows of last week. If we go ahead and zoom in on this chart, I will open this up. You're going to see that we were trading right back at that 4105 today, previous Monday and Tuesday lows. This is not a good place to take short entries. There is a previous demand at this level, and we went ahead and we held it again today. We were starting to trade back to it. This is where the risk to reward starts to flip. If you are looking for short side, you do not want to be shorting at those demand lows. And if I go back into what happened today, you can see we went back to that 4105. I'll go to the 5-minute chart. And as soon as we tapped that level, you can see the demand started to step up and the market reversed off that level. So moving forward over the next few trading days into next week, that 4105 level is going to be major. You have to be paying attention to what happens at this level. This is the previous Monday, Tuesday lows. This is the lows of yesterday after CPI. We have to see how the market reacts at this level. As of now, it continues to hold as demand, and that means you cannot short into that level. You have to trust that level. You have to make sure you understand shorting into this level or shorting near this level could cause you to get stuck in a demand bounce. You do not want to be shorting in that level. If you want to look for shorts, I would look for a move back below that 4105, possibly back into that 4050. But as of now, with the market maintaining that 4105 level, even after CPI today, I'm definitely looking to see if there is more upside continuation on this market, looking to see if there's any intraday movements back to the upside after holding that 4105. But again, we have to be paying attention to the 4200 supply. We cannot get too aggressive here into 4200. That's the major supply above. If we go to the daily chart, you guys know this is a monster level. Previous rejections here, rejections again, and we've rejected it here around the 4200. So unfortunately, I hate to say it, but we are still channeling in this 4200 and 4050 area, but we have to at least be paying attention to these levels. We have to know when it's a good risk reward to go short, when it's a good risk reward to go long. Using these levels will help you make those decisions. 4200 supply, 4105 demand, and then 4050 demand even down below that 4105. We have to be paying attention to those levels into the rest of the week. So here's the SPY ETF, and you guys know this is pretty much the exact same chart, but I figured I would share the SPY levels. They look the exact same. You can see today we moved back into that 40850 level. This was the previous Monday and Tuesday's lows. We did reject it on Friday of last week. We got back above it on Monday yesterday, and after CPI, we moved right back into that 40550, and we held it once again. So moving forward, we're watching 40550 demand, we're watching 404 demand down here, and we're watching that 418 supply up above. Same exact type of thought process and analysis as the ES futures. These are the levels that I would be paying attention to on the SPY ETF. So jumping over to the NASDAQ futures, this is where the bull flag looks very, very apparent to me, and this is where I am looking for a little bit more upside here on the NASDAQ futures on the tech sector. You guys can see that we had some previous rejection points here at this 12,300 level on the NASDAQ. This was a previous double top on the NASDAQ. We broke above that level, and we have retested it, and we have held it. This is a classic break and retest hold of 12.3 on the NASDAQ, and you can see that bull flag that is forming, right? You have this bull flag after a break and retest. If the NASDAQ maintains this 12.3 level, if we start to see that break of this bull flag, you may start to see us push back into the supply around 12.8, 13,000. Now, if I zoom out to the daily chart on the NASDAQ, again, we can't get overly aggressive on this bull flag. Yes, it looks good. Yes, the break and retest looks good on the daily as well of 12.3, but we have to understand the supply above. We have a really, really major supply above on the NASDAQ. We have a previous low here between 12.8 and 13,000. Once again, a rejection here, some consolidation, and then you can see the rejection that came in here. This is back on the 13th of September. We rejected that level, and we moved back into it recently, and we rejected it again. So we have to understand that, okay, yes, we are having a bull flag. Yes, we are holding that 12.3 retest, but do we really want to long into this supply That's a little bit cautious in my opinion. I'd be a little bit cautious of that. Again, I think the most bullish case here is that you get a break of 13,000, you hold above it, and you look to go long on that. That is the same exact concept of waiting for the break above 4,200, holding above that 4,200, and then going long off that 4,200 level. So in my opinion, the most bullish case out there is a break and hold of 4,200 on the ES and a break and hold of 13,000 on the NASDAQ. If you see that into the next few trading days, into next week, that is where I would be looking to get aggressive on that upside move. Now, if we zoom in here on the hourly chart, the key level that held intraday today was right here around this 12,450. You can see we had a previous low around this 12,450, previous Monday, Tuesday low. We did break below it. We turned it into a rejection. But on Monday, yesterday, we broke back above. And on today, after CPI, we held it once again. 12,450, 12,450. So we cannot short into that level, right? That's an intraday level we have to be monitoring. Shorting into 12,450 could cause you to get another demand bounce, and you don't want to be a part of that if you are too aggressive on the short side here. So on the NASDAQ, here's the levels I would watch. 12,450, 12,300, and the major supply up here around this 12,800, 13,000. The most comfortable entry for the longs would be a break and hold above 13,000. You could try to chase this bull flag that is forming here on the NASDAQ. You could look to see if you could trade it into this supply, but you have to understand if you get too aggressive here, trade it back into supply, and don't take profits, you could get stuck in a supply rejection once again. Make sure to be paying attention to that over the next few trading days. And the key is to trust the levels, right? Make sure to use those levels. Make sure you're focusing on risk reward. If you're moving into supply, don't get aggressive on calls into supply. If you're moving back into some of those demand levels, maybe your risk reward doesn't make sense on the short side. Yes, you might have a bias. You may think that the market should drop. You may think that the market should go up. But if you don't pay attention to those levels, you're going to let your bias take over, and you're most likely going to get yourself in a situation that you probably don't want to be in. You can see that the levels have been respected pretty much the last week, so continue to trust them, continue to trade off them until they are broken. With that said, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Make sure to press the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.